Meth is still flowing across the US Mexico border. Even with the pandemic going strong, it has not stopped the flow of illegal drugs coming into the country. In fact, they're finding even more creative ways of getting the drugs into America. So the U.S. Custom and Border Protection officers are noticing an alarming trend in illegal drug trade. Methamphetamines is flowing across the border at an all-time high, and officers say the coronavirus pandemic has affected its prevalence and price tag. So this is Fox News, September 2nd, 2020. They're in business to make money, so the cartels are still looking for every possible way to get narcotics across. Tucson Field Officer Director of Field Operation Guadalupe Ramirez Jr. said. While battling the coronavirus pandemic, Border Patrol agents and U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers said they've been working nonstop to intercept illegal drug activity at the U.S. Mexico border. In Tucson, Arizona, officers said they've seen a spike in meth and fentanyl at the southern border. We're actually the smallest field office, but we're normally number 2 or 3 when it comes to narcotic seizures, Ramirez said. While other locations have seen meth really go up, we've seen fentanyl go up here, but we're still out of 4 southern border field offices. We're still number 3 in meth seizures. So they're very high. Officer says in all, the total volume of meth seized is almost double than last year, with still a couple of months left to go in the fiscal year. In fact, the volume of meth seizures has been increasing annually for several years. In fiscal year 2019, the Office of Field Operations seized some 68,585 points of meth nationwide, compared to 118,153 pounds so far this year. In Laredo, Texas, meth seizures have been happening almost daily. U.S. Custom and Protection officers intercept shipments containing methamphetamines with an estimate street value of 29.8 million. And 2 law enforcement actions at the World Trade Brickback in August. A few days later, at the Juarez Lincoln Bridge, they seized an additional total of meth at $3.3 million in street value. Wow. Supply and demand. As we hit their supply line, the demand is still there. So the price goes up, Ramirez said. Most meth production has been taking place in Mexico, where cartels have offered a constant production line of illegal narcotics, according to investigators. Typically, drug smugglers would try to blend in with normal traffic, but since the borders have remained closed to only essential travel because of the coronavirus pandemic, officers said it is forcing criminals to use other routes and methods to conceal. Our traffic is down approximately 20 to 24%, whether you're looking at pedestrians or passenger vehicles. But our narcotic seizures are up about 40%, Ramirez said. Now you see deeper concealments, smaller quantities, harder to find, and you see more people walking across with narcotics strapped to them. We've seen a huge increase in the internal carriers throughout our ports of entry. Officers say San Diego, California has been a hotspot for meth seizures. In a recent court case, U.S. Attorney Robert Brewer said the extremely potent meth smuggling from Mexico contributed to more deaths in San Diego County than opioids. Recently, U.S. Customs Border Protection officers working at ports of entry prevented over 222 pounds of meth and more than 5 pounds of fentanyl from entering the U.S. The drugs had an estimated street value of $767,000. Yeah, you're doing all those seizures, and a ton of drugs are still making it in. Next door in Arizona, the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office have been conducting drug busts several times a month. At the beginning, we were seeing about $1,700 per pound. It's now increased. They're pushing about $4,000 per pound of methamphetamines. That is extremely high. Yeah, that sure is. The price of methamphetamines has pretty much doubled. And the reason for that is because it is harder to transport and get through the borders with COVID-19 and the security measures, the checks. For now, officers say as long as there is a market for meth in the U.S., smugglers are going to continue to adapt and find ways to bring it in. They asked the public to contact law enforcement immediately after seeing any illegal activity. Well, I don't see a lot of people doing that. But y'all, please tell me what you think. I'm not surprised drug use has not gone down. It's still pouring in here, just like it's still pouring in here from China. All that fentanyl, it's still coming in. Nothing has changed. And, the only thing is they're not telling you how many people are dying per week, but they said it has increased from 2019 and 2020. It's definitely a big increase. And you got to look at the deaths from the coronavirus, 186,000 deaths, and they're not even telling you about the opioid and methamphetamines and fentanyl deaths that are still going strong. They always tried to lowball the numbers. We know they were way higher than any number they're telling you, just like COVID. We know it's far higher than any numbers they want to tell you in mainstream news. If you listen to them, you would believe it was hardly none here. But y'all, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.